We're talking about the scale of the ride-hailing business and the opportunities in Asia. Some values, we've got a chart I think shows this, valued up to $20 billion by 2025, according to some estimates. You, of course, have pulled back recently from some of the markets in this part of the world, 8 out of the 18 that you were operating in. You're still in 10 markets. What are your priorities and your focus for 2019, specifically for the markets in which you remain here in Asia?
Great. Thanks for having me. It's great to be back in Guangzhou. APAC is very important for us as a business for Uber going forward. In our North Asia markets, Japan and Korea represent two of the biggest unlocked markets for us anywhere in the world. Enormous transportation markets. In Japan, we have moved into that market partnering with taxi companies, and that is our strategy there. But again, North Asia represents a big opportunity. Australia, New Zealand has always been a leading market for us. It's a market that's well developed. We've been there for 6 years, and we've developed our business in an extraordinary way with a great team. We export not just innovation there, but people from there. Many of our great general managers and people around the world have come out of that business. And of course, India and South Asia, an enormous market for us, huge opportunity, and the one that we continue to invest significant resources in. So APAC is still very focused.
Let me focus on Japan. It's a taxi business market where, again, according to some estimates, valued at around $15 billion. It's been largely closed off, but as you say, you made some progress earlier this year with a testing phase, essentially. Where do you see the value of that market for Uber going forward in Japan?
It's incredibly important. We learned a lot about how to partner with taxi companies in Southeast Asia, including our Comfort Delgro transaction we did a year ago. Those learnings and our global focus on it enabled us to go into Japan and speak with regulators, speak with taxi companies, and talk about how we could partner together. And we have now, as we think about different markets, not just in Tokyo, but around Tokyo, Nagoya, even Awaji Island, which is our first market in which we did a pilot program in concert with the government. We are deeply focused on partnering with taxi companies. And it's interesting, we learn in Southeast Asia, we're doing this in Japan, it's relevant elsewhere in the world we operate as well.
Just talking of Japan, you can't talk about Japan without really talking about SoftBank. We've been talking about their IPO, their telecoms business today. Obviously, Masayoshi-san, a major investor in Uber, but in some of your competitors. How do you navigate that relationship? How challenging is it for you?
SoftBank is a fantastic investor. We're honored to have them as an investor, and around the world we work with them. There are markets in which they have also funded competitors, and so we work through that, and we are sharper because of competition, and that's the case everywhere we operate. In Southeast Asia, we've now, of course, partnered with Grab. That's been a great partnership for the last year, and in Japan, we do speak to them, and of course, we want to be as integrated and as helpful as possible both ways. But great investor.
I want to talk about the Indonesian company, Gojek. They're going to be operating in Singapore, again, going up against Grab. Of course, you have a, 27% stake in Grab. Is that good news for Singaporeans who were complaining about the lack of competition after Uber pulled out, or is it a threat to Grab?
Singapore is a great transportation market. It is a great place. We have a lot of our people there. We have our Asia Pacific headquarters there, and we continue to run the region out of there. It's also a forward-looking transportation market. So I think as things develop there, they develop in a way that will be leading edge and illustrative for the rest of the world. So we're excited to watch.
Look, in terms of the trade tensions, it's the elephant in the room at this forum. Certainly it's the focus of attention. You're not directly impacted by tariffs, of course, but further on, the conversation is about the role that China plays in AI, automation. That is something surely that Uber has to bear in mind. Are you concerned about the competitive threat as it's portrayed by some in the US that is coming out of China in these spaces?
We operate in 70 countries around the world, 650 cities. China is a big factor in many ways. First of all, in the automotive industry and innovation, electric cars, other things they're doing, AI, technology. And so they are going to impact markets in which we operate. But they're innovators. We're innovators. We operate very locally despite having a global footprint. And so we have a lot of things thrown at us, and it's up to us to execute, to bring innovation and to bring scale, and then we can solve a lot of this.
Can I just get a quick one on the business sections, where you see the greatest revenues going forward? Is it Uber Eats? Is it the self-driving component of the business? Is it the scooter size or section of the business that you're now focused on in China? Where do you see the greatest revenues going forward?
Sure. We are operating a platform, whether it's e-bikes to scooters to the ride-sharing business, all the way through to autonomous and eventually Uber Elevate. So transport is a wide platform. Those will develop over time. We're very excited about Uber Eats right now. We've now gotten into 40 countries, 400 cities, and 40% of Uber Eats users that came onto the platform in 2018 had not taken a ride on Uber. They're new customers, new onto the platform, and we look forward to getting them more involved in what we do across our whole platform.